know by now, I am your resident Coyle Middle School Bill Nye, the science guy, science teacher lady. So I'm with you guys today because we have kind of a strange day, so we're kind of asynchronous, kind of synchronous. You're probably seeing this video because one or more of your teachers got a vaccine yesterday and is not feeling so great, so we're showing this video instead. Or we're just showing this video because you guys just think I'm that awesome. Just kidding. So today we have a couple assignments for you. I know you're like, really, Miss Mead? Like the last day before spring break? But sorry, we gotta do some work. So first I wanted to go over your learning intention for today, which is, today I will show what I learned about genetics so that I can show mastery on the unit assessment. And then I wanted to talk about your success criteria, which is, I'll know I have it when I can use my knowledge of genetics to pass the unit assessment. So, now that you know what your learning intention and success criteria is, I want you to go to your Google Classroom. And in your Google Classroom, you should have a project posted for today for daily assignments. Up at the top, it should say April 1st project. So what you'll need in order to do this project is, one, you'll need the project open because it will have all the instructions. And two, you'll need a blank Google document. So go ahead and create a blank Google document for you to write all your answers on so that you can submit it to your teacher when you're finished. The only thing I'm going to tell you about this is I'm going to read some of these directions for you, but it is very important that you read all of the directions. You should always read all of the directions, but it's super important that you read all of these directions because there's a lot of little details, and if you don't read all of them, you might miss some, and that could be a lot of points on your assignment for today. Okay? So, again, when you open this document, you'll need to open up another Google document. You can have them side by side if you'd like, or if you want to toggle back and forth, whatever works for you. You just need to have this document open and you need to have a blank document so that you can answer these questions and complete your project, okay? But before you begin your project, before you start anything, I want you to be sure to read the directions, read all of the directions first so that you're clear on what you're supposed to be doing, and visit any links that we've put in there for the assignment. If you have any questions, please email your science teacher directly. If you don't get one of us, you can always email one of the other teachers. So you can email Miss Hill or Miss Harvey or Dr. Baraka. We're all doing the same lesson today. So either way, you can email one of us and we can help you out. But again, I cannot stress this enough because there's a lot of directions here. Make sure you read all the directions first before you complete any of the work, okay? So once you've read all those directions, you'll notice there's a rubric in there about how we're gonna grade you guys and all of these different things. So again, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you read all of the directions before you start anything, okay? That way, if you're unclear about something, it may come down later in the directions and you might be like, oh, that answered my question, great. So again, read all of the directions before you do anything and before you click on any links. After you've read all of the directions and you know what to do, you can click on some of those links and you can email your teacher. Other than that, that's your first assignment for today. Your second assignment for today is our lovely Legends of Learning. And what you'll be doing today in Legends of Learning is you'll be looking at our new unit that's coming up. So when we get back from spring break, we're gonna do our evolution unit. Ooh, evolution. And we're gonna be talking about things like mutation, adaptation, natural selection. We'll be talking about that lovely guy Darwin that you all picked on your quizzes the other day. Even though we were talking about Mendel, y'all chose Darwin, so y'all must know a lot about Darwin already. But those are going to be what we're talking about in the next unit. So our Legends of Learning is kind of an introduction to all these things. So what you're gonna do in your Legends of Learning, you'll go to your Google Classroom. It'll be assigned under your daily assignment, and it will say some kind of Legends of Learning for today or whatever your teacher has called it. For my class, it'll say Thursday work. Pretty straightforward there. You'll click on, you'll log in just like we did last time. We only have 2 games this time. I know you guys are like, Miss Mead, what were you doing? Signing 11 games, oh my goodness. So this time we're only gonna have 2. All right, and this game doesn't really have any like specific directions or elements of like you have to beat this score. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna see how we can grow a population and with what mutations we are best able to grow the biggest population. So ultimately your goal in this game is to reproduce as many bunnies as possible in that environment that you'll see on the screen here in just a second. Okay guys, so here is what your game looks like when you pull it up. Now, if you notice, you have a lovely little bunny here, and we've got some plants. And right now it's sunny, but we can also change our environment to be cold. Okay, we can also add a mutation. So this dominant, so if you look, it's loading. So as these bunnies reproduce, they'll produce this dominant, or we can choose the recessive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a mate for this bunny. There we go, we've got a mate now. All right, so we've added this mate. Oh, now if you notice, more bunnies have appeared, but we have one that's brown because of our mutation over here. Oh my goodness, what is happening? So, as you look at our graph down here as well, you can see that our population is getting a little big. Now, what happens if we introduce wolves? Boop. We're gonna bring in some wolves. What do you guys think is gonna happen with that population? Oh my goodness. Problem. So the wolves just knocked out a big chunk of the population. Here come the wolves again. Knock out. And if you guys notice, this dominant brown is starting to eliminate all these white rabbits. So as the population is progressing, these white rabbits are becoming eliminated. Another reason this can be happening is also because the white rabbits are very easy to see against this brown background. So these wolves that are coming in are gonna go for the white rabbits first, obviously, because they're easier to see. Now, if we switch this over, let's see what happens. So we switch this over. What do you think is gonna happen with that white population? I think it's gonna go up because these white bunnies blend in better with the snow. So if you look already, we've already had some increases in those white bunnies. Let's see. We can see those brown ones. Hey, was I right, guys? Looks like I might be right. Let's see what happens this time when the wolves come through. So even though the fur was a dominant brown, it's kind of getting weeded out. This would be called natural selection. Okay, so these white bunnies are able to produce way more because they're not being eaten as quickly as brown. Look, we only got 2 brown guys left. They're gonna be gone real quick. Bunnies have taken over the world. Excellent. Okay, guys, so what we want you to do is we just want you to play around with this and see what kind of different things you can come up with. Obviously, we don't want bunnies to take over the world, so you've got to find a balance between the wolves, the bunnies, and the earth. All right, guys, so how'd you do? Did your bunnies take over the world like mine did? Hopefully not. We don't want the bunnies to take over the world. But it's kind of interesting. You saw how that shift happened between the brown bunnies and the white bunnies when we changed the environment and we introduced those wolves, right? It was easier for them to see those white bunnies against that brown backdrop and to see those brown bunnies against that white backdrop and kind of how the population changed based on the environment. That's an adaptation. That's something that happens over a long period of time. It's also natural selection. So because the wolves kept being able to eat those brown bunnies because they weren't able to see the white ones as well with the snow on the ground, over time, that became the more desired trait, and those brown bunnies started to die off, and white bunnies reproduce and reproduce and reproduce. That happens with a lot of different things in the world. Bird beaks, you have birds with different kind of beaks depending on what they eat. Chimpanzees being able to stand up, use their thumbs. All of these things have happened over many, 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 many years. Okay, so this doesn't happen overnight. Like, hey, I don't need to use my appendix anymore, so it's gone, right? Humans, we don't use our appendix anymore. It's still there. We don't really have too much of a function for it. Who knows? In 1,000 years from now, people might not even have an appendix. Our appendixes were actually much larger at one period of time, and they've shrunken considerably. So who knows what's going to happen in the next 1,000 years? But these are all adaptations that have happened over very long periods of time that have made certain species be able to survive better than others. Okay, so hopefully you enjoy this game. Hopefully you enjoyed our assignment. And we want you guys to have a wonderful spring break. Enjoy your time off. When we get back, we only have like 5 weeks of school left, if that, maybe 4. We have milestones coming up. We've got our evolution unit. Then we got our cool biomes unit where we're gonna talk about like the jungles and the deserts and the savannas and all that really cool stuff. And then guess what? We're done. All right, guys, so again, have a wonderful break. Be safe, have fun, go outside, turn off your computers for a little bit, turn off those video games, and enjoy your time off from school. We'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye. So, how'd you do? Did your bunnies take over the world like mine did? Hopefully not. But that's kind of interesting.